small size. We haven't had very many 1 minute plays work, so. 9, hit 70 to go. Oh. Nope. That's a big boy ball. Learn how to day trade.
There's a very strong upward move.
There's not a program that you could. It's like watch, learn, figure things out. That's the best way. There's lots of videos that you can watch for sure. The VIX just dumping here. Wow, we are in 1950 on the VIX. Got a W here, 674.
There's no way, right?
Failed?
No way we actually go low today. Why not?
Farfanugan gave it all back.
Just why not?
Wait, it didn't break.
It's a dollar between here and here. Dollar chop. Mac is trying to turn on multiple time frames.
Yeah, this is doing
Still in
well.
the 15 though. It's looking
gonna check
good
out
for
that now.
a downward
W
move.
attempt.
Filing a simple return for free with the help of a TurboTax
The
expert.
30 minute can close under 400. That would be big. New 5 minute probably get some juice. Unfortunately,
On the next candle over candle.
this would be huge if this is the one candle finally on the 5 minute that just doesn't. This stays below the 400 level. That would be really big. Stays below the 400 level. Stays below the 400 level. Couldn't do it.
Well, that's frustrating.
Should be exiting.
Rom reaching for the stars here. So this is E-Trade Pro. Yeah. Sorry if I don't see your question.
What?
You know, a lot of things moving right now.
I don't really see a bull flag.
But chat's really good at answering these questions, so you can keep them coming.
Get under that 75 we hit
Trying to
VWAP, we
cuck
can go
there.
lower.
Wow, I'm still pushing up.
Wow, Nvidia get crushed right now. Amazon, Netflix. See if Google bounces down under that support.
Chuck just gonna edge us here? What's he gonna say?
I'd really like to see a drop so we can keep this MACD going, getting bigger on the downside. Or even this MACD, if it can ever cross to red, we'd be in a good place, physically and mentally. Dump incoming? Why do you say that? Full port's ready. Why? What changed? It's 10 o'clock. Yeah.
There's nothing there. Take it out. Oh, horse shit on that last fill. Damn it. Still get some money on this. I don't think there was any of the chips, JJ. Oh, this thing's getting floppy, man.
It's 11 out of 5. That is not a good sign. No bueno.
Would you agree it's unnecessary for Sweden to join NATO when you have Finland and Norway literally between us? NATO? I have no idea. I think at this point it's like more the merrier with Russia doing Russia things. Get him in now in case there's an issue. Sweden's not.
Yeah, can we just get a dump from Microsoft earnings? That'd be nice.
Solvable.
Need Microsoft to get under that level. No, you're not. You're good, baby. It's not fun when futures and SPY have the same VWAP. That is not fun. It does not look good. Apple yet again bouncing off that level of support. Amazon, nice red there. Still doing his thing. Microsoft though under that support level. Nvidia and Meta under VWAP. AMD,
Nothing to slow down.
nice.
Who was the new guy?
Tesla,
I wanna be able
okay.
to talk to him.
46.
Are you still here, new guy? Oh, beat flip. There you are. You still hear beat flip?
This could be the first candle to close under 400. That would be really big right now, especially if we close under VWAP in the next 3 minutes. That would be huge.
Oh my.
190. What for? What? Oh,
He's in the stream, but he's not responding to me, so you know.
pricey.
That can only mean one thing.
USPX standard 4010.
Oh, I don't want to see my cursor. See what I mean? Get rid of that. Start over.
We had the 9 o'clock dump and then the 10 o'clock dump. Pretty much to the same level. And
Normals is not banned. Just this is way more fun, obviously. Bullshit starting early, huh? focus.
What the hell, bro?
The only spot I can go through, and they put a big ass piece of shit that's gonna bump you around.
So much for that 5-minute play.
This is not a good run. They're not giving me a lot of these bonus shats, whatever they call them.
Spy feels extremely
Farfanugan.
indecisive right now.
I don't know why I'm saying Farfanugan today. See that horse shit? Put a damn car right where the hole is. Let's do this again. I can't do another browser because it has to be connected to MetaMask, and I don't think there's MetaMask in Internet Explorer, is there? So I could certainly try that. See that move? That was next level.
Yeah, can we please? That is not it.
Not worth it.
You can just
See,
eat
I'm
a
at
dick,
20k
bro.
when the music changes. You want to be at like 30. Wait, that wasn't the music change. Here's the music change. Oh! I didn't hit it! I didn't hit it! I just got dicked. GNS tearing somebody's butthole open right there. I'm going for it. Oh. GNS just dumpster diving. Yes, this is a butthole. Actually, this is the sewers, but the other thing you see is a butthole. I can confirm that. That was a little greedy. No way I can hit that. Oh, jeez. See that horse manure? It's the stuff that gets you, man. Mm-hmm. Oh, there was one behind that. Didn't see it. Freaking cheaters. did it! Can I slow it down? Wish. All right, last one. So I think COSM's setting up. Focus. It's a fine line there, Jeffy. I didn't even hit that. Of course. Now it ain't count. Daddy, the yam yam. Trying early, Jeffy. I'm trying early.
Lowered the 10-year yield 347. We're back after this.
This is The Exchange on CNBC.
We need a small business loan fast.
I got this.
Loan Falcon!
There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. Go to OnDeck.com, and if approved, get your funds as soon as the same day. Your loan is on deck.
Yeah, I squeeze that.
The first time your sales reached 100K was also the first time you hit this note. Save 20% with the lowest transaction fees and keep more of what you make with a partner that always puts you first. GoDaddy, tools and support for every small business first.
You might not always be ready for the moment. With Roman at your side, you can take care of erectile dysfunction discreetly, so that you're ready. Roman ready.
How do you show them that you care?
When I haven't heard from him in a while, constant contact. Automatically send a text.
You know, I've never had a relationship with a gardener like this.
Actually, landscape.
Yeah, if they can start going red, it looks bearish.
Well, it may at times seem like everything you're looking at is in bear market mode. There is always a bull market somewhere. The money flowing out is most certainly flowing into something else. If you're going to play this game, it's your job to find it. There has always been a sector or industry that is working when others aren't. And while I want to empower you as much as I can to go out and find it on your own, I also promise to help you find it.
Get Jim Cramer's complete guide to investing for free. Scan the code or go to cnbc.com/Kramer Guide.
So I had to quit college to help my mom, but I never wanted to quit my dream of a career in IT.
There are over 260,000 IT support specialist job openings in America. On Coursera, you can earn Google's IT support professional certificate designed to prepare you for an IT support career in about 5 months for $39 a month. No degree or experience needed.
My job now is amazing. I can spend more time with my family.
Start a career building certificate
We are
program today
freaking
on
flying
Coursera.
right now.
Join for free at Coursera.org. Coursera, learn without limits.
When your money's good, you feel good. Early payday, fee-free overdrafts, no monthly fee. It's banking the way it should be. Chime, the #1 most loved banking app.
Welcome back, everyone. And this is why I wanted the. Okay, it's time for another edition of Earnings Exchange, where we give you the action, the story, and the trades for some key names on deck. We're going to begin with Kimberly-Clark. You might think staples are a great trade right now, but they're their worst year since 2018. Kimberly-Clark is. They've also missed Wall Street estimates on 4 of their last 8 reports. Cost and logistics, those are some of the big headwinds, but Dom Chu's here with the story. And David Katz, I should say, of Matrix Asset Advisors. He's the Chief Investment Officer, and he has our trades today. Dom.
Okay, so the setup here is you laid it out perfectly. Consumer staples companies, especially the ones that have big brand name portfolios, are in focus. Now, if you look at Kimberly-Clark, we'll take you through the earnings expectations right now. It's going to be $1.51. That's what you're looking for in terms of earnings. About $4.98 billion overall in terms of revenues. That was a 5-minute run when I did this one. What you're going to watch for, as with every consumer products company out there, is what's going to happen with regard to their international operations. Many of these guys have international exposure, so currency headwinds and FX is going to be a problem and or tailwind depending on how things work out. If you look at the other things to watch for, it'll be about the brand portfolios that they have. Are people still willing to pay up for some of those things for Kimberly-Clark, like Kleenex tissues or Cottonelle?
Plus, if you buy the Power Shark pack,
that sort of thing, that's going to be big. And then the other thing to watch is whether or not there's still pricing power in the brand portfolio at a company like Kimberly-Clark.
Not only
one thing that we learned this season early on from Procter & Gamble, which is literally the behemoth when it comes to consumer products, is that they did raise prices and they were able to do so, but they saw a drop-off in sales volumes,
once I feel like I got a groove,
which means that consumers might be pushing back on some of the price increases that they are seeing in this inflationary environment. And by the way, the chart we're showing you right now is the one-year performance of Procter & Gamble, which is a $335 billion market cap company, versus Colgate-Palmolive, a peer company that's worth $65 billion, and then Kimberly-Clark, which is worth roughly $45 billion. So if you want to use Procter & Gamble, that's probably like the benchmark right now for what you're going to want to expect or see out of a name like Kimberly-Clark and, of course, Colgate-Palmolive.
And I don't know if we can compare all the forward Ps, but Kimberly-Clark about 22 times right now.
Tier 4, I would need a Tier 4 pass, which is 6 ETH right now.
Let's ask David Katz what he
like
thinks.
10 grand.
David, welcome. What would you do with Kimberly-Clark here?
And then 2 ApeCoin to buy the Power Shark pack.
I think the key right now with Kimberly is for the last 2 years,
and 1 ApeCoin, so it's like $10.
The last quarter was the first time in some
and
time.
And it only lasts
finally did a little
10
bit
minutes.
better than
You get 3 of them.
They're controlling their costs a little bit better. Logistics are getting better. If that continues,
I'm not
we think
doing
the
it right
stock
now,
is going to be a good stock for the next 12 months. We're pretty cautious on consumer staples in aggregate, but we like Kimberly one of the best. It does have a 3.5%
I was close. I was
yield,
sweating
which is
because I can tell where I'm at without looking at the score based off of the music.
Times earnings, that it's under earning because of the cost problem. So if they finally get their act together, we think it's got pretty good earnings leverage. We wouldn't buy today, but after the earnings release, we're very comfortable buying it here.
Yeah, that was a surprise for me, David, because we talked about some of your hesitance with the staples more broadly, but I take your point about some of the stock-specific reasons here.
Yes, and if the stock disappoints and it does sell off by 5-8%, which it has done for a number of quarters, we would step in a bigger way, because we do think on any disappointment they're going to get their act together this year, and we'd buy them.
All right, fascinating. Let's see if it holds for Abbott. David, stay right there. Abbott Labs is also before the bell tomorrow, down about 1% today. Saw a 6-year winning streak get snapped on a 22% loss last year, and they've beaten earnings estimates for 8 straight quarters, but they are, Megan, I know well, facing this DOJ investigation into manufacturing of baby formula. Welcome, Megan. What are you watching?
Well, that is one of the things we're watching. You know, macro questions persist here, as they did this morning for all the earnings we saw with J&J. That was something people were really cautious about. But COVID testing is actually still a question for Abbott. Analysts are saying there could be potential upside here, as people are expecting those revenues really to have come down, obviously, with where we are in the pandemic. But could we see some upside in the fourth quarter? Of course, course, post-pandemic recovery in their medical device sector. That is something with J&J we saw a little bit soft today, although there is a recovery happening back to pre-pandemic levels in terms of the procedures people are having done. And then, of course, as you mentioned, the baby formula investigation,
Jeffy,
that
I hate to
coming out
admit
Friday
it,
night.
but maybe hitting it early and not knowing what's behind it, but breaking early
We'll see whether
and
the
then
company
reacting
says
on
anything else
the
about
other
it in
side.
their release
That
or
might have
on
been
their
the way to
call.
go.
You know, analysts will probably be asking about it, whether they
As
will
much as I
be
hate to admit, you
more,
might have been
and how much
right.
that matters to the stock.
We're going to need more
Have we
runs
gotten any
to
sense,
know if it was just a
you know,
fluke
we were
or
just
not.
talking the other day about Johnson & Johnson and sort of the legal there and how they've tried to deal with this. Has anyone kind of estimated the potential legal exposure that Abbott could have here?
I haven't seen anything along those lines, and there wasn't much of a reaction after that news came out on Friday about the investigation. So it's something I'm really interested in learning more about. How much of a risk really is this for Abbott investors, or is it mostly just that the negative attention is going to continue, but it's something that Wall Street is really not paying that much attention to?
Sure, and that's going to be a major question for them to answer. All right, David, what do you do with the stock here?
So Abbott is a really well-run company. They consistently make their earnings. If you look at the earnings comparison between 22 and 23, earnings are going to drop significantly because they're losing the COVID testing. So with earnings declining and the stock selling at about 25 times next year's earnings, this is a good company that's fully priced and we would pass. We do like Medtronic a lot better in the med tech area. That sells at about 15 times earnings with a much higher yield. So Abbott, very good business. But we don't want to own it.
All right, you stick with Medtronic. Fair enough. That brings us to last, but certainly not least, Microsoft. After the bell this afternoon, riding a 2-week win streak, had its worst year since 2008 during the tech wreck last year. They've topped estimates 18 of the past 20 quarters, seen shares rise 3 out of the last 4, but they've also just laid off 10,000 people. Steve Kovac here with more details.
Yeah, just a tiny $2 trillion company reporting after the bell. Yeah, just tiny. So look here, Kelly, the mantra from Satya Nadella and company is do more with less, and that is exactly what Microsoft is going to be having to do itself. 10,000 employees got the axe last week. We know that already. We also know they're investing billions of dollars in Activision and ChatGPT. Now, things we're going to have to look for on the less side is cloud growth. Cloud growth is slowing down. Before, year and quarters past, we would see, high 40 percentage points or in 50 percentage points in Azure growth. That's going to go all the way down to about 36, 37%, according to the Wall Street estimates. And look, that is because of so many headwinds facing the cloud business. You have foreign exchange, and you have this reduced spend from IT spend among small and medium businesses. That's what's hurting cloud growth. And then we got to talk about consumer demand, Kelly. Windows, PC, people are just not buying PCs the way they were during the pandemic, and that hurts the more personal computing business. That hurts Windows licenses as well.
The bread and butter.
The bread and butter.
For about 25, 24 times forward PE. David Katz, would you be a buyer of Microsoft here?
Not before the earnings, but tomorrow we absolutely would. We think this is a great long-term business. Management is really good. They're very focused on running the business well. They control costs much better than a lot of technology companies. They are confronting a lot of headwinds, so we're a little bit cautious going into earnings. We would wait and see until we hear what they say. But after that, we think for those that have a 9 to 12 month time frame, this is a really good buy. We're very happy entering here. The stock was about 120 points higher a year and a half ago, so you're getting that great business at a much better price.
Do you, David, like the mega spend on ChatGPT and the sort of the tack they're taking there versus, for instance, Facebook going more in the metaverse direction?
We think it makes an enormous amount of sense. It really positions them very well for the long term. If this artificial intelligence works on the search side, it repositions them and puts them in much better stead versus a Google. So we think this is a very smart business move. $10 billion is a huge amount of money relative to Microsoft.
Sure.
It is
So
a
I was to see
manageable
another
amount of
house.
money.
I
So
thought you already
we think
moved.
it's smart investment, and that's why we like management so much. They really are very focused, and they're trying to get a bang for their buck.
All right, Steve, finally, whisper-wise, what do you think people are kind of really expecting tonight? A beat, a miss? I mean, when I have people in the inbox saying we're bracing for their results, it feels like maybe the bar is a little bit lower.
Yeah, the bar is lower, definitely, and the layoffs didn't help. That just kind of signaled, hey, we're not going to do as well as even we kind of anticipated we were going to do. So those layoffs are going to help, and then the cost related to those layoffs, that's going to shave, they said, about 12 cents off EPS, $1.2 billion off revenue. So these are costly layoffs on top of all those other investments you were talking about, Kelly.
Right.
So, and guidance is going to be super important.
True, as always. A great point, though. We'll leave it there. Steve, thanks so much. Steve Kovac and David Katzings for all your trades today. Still ahead, so much for lakefront property in Arizona. The water crisis there creating real risks for real estate. We'll tell you what it means for developers, investors, and the housing market. Plus, the DOJ filing its second antitrust lawsuit against Google in just over 2 years. Stock only down about 1%, by the way. We'll speak to one monopoly expert about it and the Taylor Swift buzz on Capitol Hill today, of course. And as we head to break, here's a look at the Dow heat map. 3M, Walgreens, Merck, the biggest laggards right now. Travelers, Cat, and Honeywell, the biggest gainers. We'll have more on all of this in just a moment. The Exchange is back after this.
When pain says, I'm here, I say,
Price,
so are they.
wow.
Just want to leave. 12 hours of uninterrupted pain relief. Aleve. Who do you take it for?
What did you find when you lost the weight?
I found my smile.
Kitchen flooring is something.
I found
But
I
everything
can
else
do
is
this.
awesome. Is that real stone in the house?
I found I can
Or is
eat
it
pizza
cultured
with
stone?
my kids again. Jenny just makes it simple.
Where?
Simple.
What will you find when you lose the weight?
That's on
Click
10
a call
acres.
to learn how to get a free week of food with purchase. Jenny Craig, lose the weight. Find yourself.
92% of households that kick off the year with Peloton are
Michigan.
still active a
What's
year
Missouri?
later.
MS?
Yeah, actively using it as a coat rack.
Congrats on 50 rides.
Okay, but it's still just a fad. Just an
That basement, do they count that as part of the square footage?
Come on, guys, I
Or do
know
they
this
count that as
isn't easy,
unfinished?
but we got
'Cause if
this.
so, that is a...
You'll give up eventually.
Missouri. It's
Seriously?
MS.
92%.
92% stick with it. So can you. Start a 30-day home trial today. Terms apply.
Sierra Rip, congratulations, man. Oh, Mississippi. Yeah, that one.
She worms your way into your life and steals everything that you have.
When money is no object, the object is to get more.
They made billions of dollars, and it's just not right.
A new year brings new greed. January on CNBC.
Keep your vehicle protected this winter with WeatherTech. Laser measured floor liners protect the carpet.
Nice work, Red.
Seat protectors to keep seats safe from spills and messes. And Cup Phone keeps your phone secure while allowing easy access.
Maybe
for
not if it's in the
recharging.
middle of nowhere.
WeatherTech's got your vehicle covered all season long. Order your American-made products at WeatherTech.com.
Welcome back. It may not look like much, but we are at session highs right now for the Dow, from a loss of 319 to currently a gain of 72. The S&P and NASDAQ just a few points away from turning positive as well. Let's get to Tyler Matheson now for the CNBC News Update. Tyler?
Kelly, thank you very much. And here's what's happening at this hour. The mass shooting in Half Moon Bay, California, was likely a case of workplace violence. Authorities say the suspect was an employee at one of the two farm businesses he attacked, leaving 7 dead and 1 seriously injured. Meanwhile, the suspect in another mass shooting is still at large, this one in Washington State, where 3 people were killed at a convenience store. It is at least the 40th mass shooting so far this year. We're not even done with January. That number translates to roughly 3 every 2 days. And more classified documents have been found, this time in the Indiana home of former Vice President Mike Pence. His lawyer says a, quote, small number of documents were inadvertently included in boxes of papers packed up when Pence left office in Washington, and that he was not aware of their existence. In the past, Pence has repeatedly said he had not retained any classified documents from his time, Kelly, as vice president. Back to you.
All right. See you soon, Tyler. Thanks. Still ahead, the DOJ, along with 8 states, filing an antitrust lawsuit against Google and its digital ad dominance, sending shares lower by about 1%. Meantime, Live Nation shares shaking it off and moving higher today as its president testifies on Capitol Hill over the Taylor Swift ticketing debacle back in November. We'll examine all the antitrust latest with a former FTC lawyer right after this.
I don't want to take medication. Wow. It's so refreshing to find a doctor who gets what you need. Especially for a post-pandemic hypochondriac who watched one episode of a medical show with my mother and now gets all sweaty and weird around doctors. So, should we move on? Great. Good.
How often do you exercise?
Dr. Stafford just kind of speaks your language.
Search, read reviews, book a doctor on ZocDoc.
Give your business an advantage right now with nationwide 5G from T-Mobile for Business. Unlock new insights and efficiency with leading ultra-capacity 5G coverage. T-Mobile for Business has 5G that's ready right now.
International flavors also different. Original chicken so magnificent. There is really no equivalent. Unrivaled, all three.
This is Cassie. She never really paid attention to her credit scores until she got Credit Karma and used her scores to score more, like her first ride. When it was time to upgrade, she shopped around for a lower auto insurance rate to go with it. Even when she decided to blaze a new trail, Credit Karma helped her with an auto loan to get her where she was going. Where is she going? Credit Karma. Download the free money app where your hard work pays off.
She worms your way into your life and steals everything that you have.
And money is no object. The object is to get more.
They made billions of dollars, and it's just not right.
A new year brings new greed. January on CNBC.
To Coventry, even a term policy for cash or a combination of cash and coverage with no future premiums.
Someone needs to tell them. But they're sitting on a gold mine, and you have no idea. Hey, guys! You're sitting on a gold mine!
Do you hear that?
I don't hear anything anymore.
Find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. Call Coventry Direct today at 800-571-7900 or visit coventrydirect.com.
Welcome back, everybody. The Department of Justice, along with 8 states, have filed an antitrust lawsuit against Google for its digital ad business. You can see the shares down about 1%. This on the same day the Senate Judiciary Committee is wrapping up its hearing on Live Nation, that Taylor Swift ticket sale debacle last fall, to see whether Ticketmaster should be spun out from its parent company. Those shares, by the way, up 2%. Deirdre Bosa has the latest Google headlines for us. Julia Boorstin has the hearing highlights. And here to help make sense of both, Mark Jarsulik, Senior Fellow at the Center for American Progress. He's practiced antitrust law at the FTC and the SEC. So welcome to everybody. Deirdre, we'll start with you. What's the latest?
Well, we just got a statement from Alphabet, and they're hitting back pretty hard, so let me read it to you. Alphabet says the DOJ is doubling down on a flawed argument that would slow innovation, raise advertising fees, and make it harder for thousands of small businesses and publishers to grow. Now, Google here is referring to a number of other outstanding lawsuits against the company, including a first one from the DOJ that was filed during the Trump administration. That doesn't even go to trial until later this year, September. So, Kelly, that indicates how long these things can take to work their way through the system and why you're not seeing much of a reaction in terms of Google's stock price. Investors typically have been fairly complacent about these things because they do take so long, and we haven't seen a lot of action. Now, the DOJ is arguing that Google operates on multiple sides of the market, buying, selling, the auction process, collecting fees and data along the way. The DOJ says that Google realized it could, quote, become the be-all and end-all location for all of ad serving. But of course, it goes back to my point that Google has been facing this kind of scrutiny for years. European regulators have had more success in winning some concessions, not so despite the scrutiny here in the U.S. Again, why perhaps the stock is off its lows. It did move a little bit, though, on that news, Kelly.
All right, Deirdre, thank you very much. Mark Jarsulik, before we dive into the issues at Live Nation,
setting up here, boys. I've been saying it all day, but that's a lot. That's a lot of yellow dots.
How do you expect this to play out?
Well, I agree that it may take some time to resolve this, but there are some serious competition issues here. And if you look, for example, at the way in which ad prices are set,
that's a lot of dots.
Plays in that. They're on both the demand side and the supply side. That is, they run a demand server that that bids for ads, and they run the supply side.
Debbie, what's
ads
going
are
on?
auctioned off. And the UK Competition Authority in 2020 concluded that they were using their dominance in this area to exclude other people who might be competing, either running demand-side servers or running supply. That is, the UK Competition Authority said that they were denying
Let's turn to Julia as Mark unfreezes there,
fun?
shall we say. It's kind of ironic, Julia, that all this is happening on the same day, and it harkens back, I think, a little bit to the Microsoft Activision issues as well.
Debbie
how much is this about Live Nation, and how much is this about the climate in DC in general towards deals right now?
I think it's a combination of both. There was a lot of conversation in the hearing about an increased interest in antitrust issues, but I also think that Live Nation is a company that has drawn a lot of scrutiny ever since that acquisition of Ticketmaster back in 2009. So senators on both sides of the aisle today criticized Live Nation and questioned whether its ownership of Ticketmaster harms competition, noting that Ticketmaster controls over 70% of the market. Now, Live Nation CFO and President Joe Berchtold, he blamed bots and scalpers for the Taylor Swift ticketing debacle, saying that Live Nation's artist payouts have been increasing over time and that Ticketmaster has actually lost market share. Kelly?
Mark, it seems like the main thing investors want to know here is, will Ticketmaster, will they force them to spin it out?
Always hard to predict how litigation will go, but I think that there's evidence going back to 2010 that antitrust enforcers are really concerned.
They've beat that horse dead, man.
Live Nation would use its control over promotion to advantage its ticket business. In 2019, DOJ found examples enough of Live Nation doing exactly this, that they revised the settlement and said they were going to pose fines for further instances of this kind of behavior. And now I think there's another investigation going on from DOJ. And if they turn up more evidence of this, I think they might well ask for a structural remedy, which would mean divesting Ticketmaster.
Julia, what are you hearing? Do you think that would happen?
Well, there was definitely a call to break up Ticketmaster from some of the senators today. Amy Klobuchar is saying that what you're seeing here is a perfect example of a monopoly. But I do think that we have to look at the fact that this deal was approved in 2009. And there was a consent decree, and Live Nation agreed to certain policies, to the fact that they would not be have any sort of retaliation against the venues that decided not to go with them and to go with a different ticketing service. And I think the question here really is there compliance with the consent decree? And if not, what are the remedies going to be for that? And then I do think in general, yes, there is a call to break up Live Nation, but we'll have to see if there's anything that may be an intermediary step before they get to that. Because I think this is a very complex situation, could have a solution other than just breaking it up.
All right. And before we go, Deirdre, for Google shareholders who appear not terribly concerned, even after they heard Mark addressing there, do you think this could turn into a bigger long-term headwind in the sense that it's a distraction at the very time they need to be sort of rivaling Microsoft with their AI investments, for instance?
It's a good question, and it's a debate that we've probably been having for years. Does all of this amount to some kind of distraction? Basically, because no one really thinks that there's going to be any real action. I mean, if you even look at Europe, and they've managed to win some concessions, and they've managed to win some pretty big fines there in the billions of dollars, but those have pretty much amounted to speeding tickets for the company. There's just so much that a Google can absorb, and it's spending a lot of money on lobbying as well. So it's really uncertain, but certainly in this moment when Senator Pichai and his team are facing a softer macroeconomic backdrop, is this harder? Is this more of a distraction with potentially less employees as well as they do layoffs? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Have to see how it ends out. But certainly, as you said, investors complacent as they have been for years.
I like the speeding ticket analogy. You just have to wonder at the end of the day, if you get pulled over too many times, I think you get your license taken away at some point.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know from any personal experience. We'll leave it there. Deirdre Bosa, Julia Boorstin, Mark Jarsulik, thank you very much. Coming up, last year, the Howard Hughes Corp had grand plans to build 100,000 homes in the Arizona desert, but those plans have since dried up. The latest developments on that development next.
pizza. But I wanted sticks. Little Caesar slices and sticks is half pizza, half Italian cheese sticks.
I smell bacon.
End the dinner drama with hot ready slices of sticks. Or order online for new jalapeno or bacon sticks.
Pizza, pizza. Tank 101.
You're killing it.
Negotiate.
$200,000 for 10% equity in my company.
Like a shark.
I'll give you the $200,000 for 20%.
$200,000 for 20%.
Wally squabble. I'm interested. I like this. $200,000 for 20%.
We're splitting it 3 ways.
No.
Are you willing to go down 15% for $200,000?
Do we have a deal, or are you going to continue negotiating?
Raise your entrepreneur IQ. Watch Shark Tank Sunday through Thursday at 7 Eastern. CNBC.
3 indispensable guides, yours free for calling 1-800-213-5317.
Fisher Investments' disciplined approach will help see
Good.
you through the market's
Keep the
ups
rule set,
and
right?
downs,
We good?
and give you the
Gucci?
confidence you need to reach a comfortable retirement. And our fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Call now for your free retirement survival kit. 1-800-213-5317.
See if your dream retirement is on track. If your retirement portfolio is $500,000 or more, give us a call.
Call 1-800-213-5317.
High Point University is the premier life skills university, where student transformation is focused on personal initiative and extraordinary career outcomes. Employers value HPU's real-world preparation. Students love unprecedented access to global leaders on High Point's inspiring campus. And parents appreciate HPU's God, family, and country values. Choose to be extraordinary at High Point University.
Hi, I'm Jay Jackson. For almost 20 years, Abacus Life has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors. And in just seconds, you can use the free calculator at abacuspays.com to learn what your policy might be worth.
For many of my clients, selling their life insurance to Abacus was right for them and their estate plan.
Don't sell or lapse your policy without going to abacuspays.com first. There are no fees and no obligations. Get the real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus.
All those yellow dots leading to red and orange.
The New Deal created American infrastructure that unleashed new opportunity.
Ideally, you get green.
Today, we're doing it again
squeezes
with
on
massive
from that
investment
level.
in modernizing our infrastructure to build for tomorrow. At Build America Mutual, we protect your municipal bond investments that help make it happen, building a vibrant future for our communities and your portfolio. Invest in the future of America with BAM insured bonds.
The nation's corporate earnings under scrutiny. The impact of a slowing economy, stubborn inflation, and interest rate policy. Immediate numbers reporting and market reaction. Team coverage and analysis on air and on the CNBC app.
Welcome back to The Exchange. Last year, we did a story about a massive housing development in the desert just west of Phoenix, Arizona. But a report released by the state could now prove a major headwind. Diana Olick is here with that follow-up. Diana?
Well, Kelly, in our Rising Risk Climate series, we reported on the Howard Hughes Corporation developing one of the largest master plan communities in the nation. At the time, the company's CEO said there was enough water despite a historic drought, but that is no longer the case.
The 37,000-acre community is supposed to eventually have more than 100,000 homes, with big public builders already expressing interest in the project, according to Howard Hughes Corp., whose CEO told us last spring that there was adequate water.
This area in the West Valley of Phoenix is absolutely sustainable and viable forever, not just for the next few years.
But Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs just released a report from the state's water department showing that over the next century there will not be adequate water, and saying the Arizona Department of Water Resources cannot approve the development of subdivisions reliant on groundwater. O'Reilly was unavailable for comment, but his team sent a response saying that they are still committed to the project, with the first phase now underway, and will continue working on water conservation and reuse measures so that when the time comes to expand, we are ready to do so in a way that ensures the prosperous and sustainable future for the West Valley.
I spoke with several analysts who cover Howard Hughes, and they agreed it has not hit
the...
They
had news about Showtime and Paramount Plus and blah, blah, blah. All right, so Grom getting that green dot now from the squeeze. Fortunately, to the downside. Funsies is going on with COSM. That's actually building some dots. So maybe we'll get one to break to the top side since we can't short it. Through Microsoft earnings? Probably not. I don't know, Looney. I have no idea what that was about.
Okay, you do a presentation of your talent, okay? Emmanuel, the stage is yours. Show us your talent.
Show me how to lie, you're getting better all the time and turning all against what isn't art that's hard to teach. Another clever words that's often unsuspecting her, and as you step back in the line, a mob jumps to their feet. Now dance, fucker, dance, man, you never had a chance, and no one even knew it was really only you, and now you steal away. Take him out today. Nice work you did. You're gonna go fuck it with 1,000 lies in a good disguise. Hit 'em right between the eyes. Hit 'em right between the eyes. We knew I'd go.
Too early. Grind hard, that's what she said. Okay, horse manure. I can thread that needle. I clicked it again and it didn't do anything. Garbage. Horse shit. Oh yeah, the prediction points. Did we dole those out yesterday? Oh no, yeah we did. Okay. Phew. Phew.
Come to TurboTax and don't do your taxes. Meet with an expert who will do them for you, so you can do not taxes.
Pelosi Jr. What did I do? BIAF? Oh, yeah, it's still hanging out, isn't it? Squeeze his own. This actually has a diagonal too. D to B. Greenhouse now. So, a lot of support here at this 330 level in BIAF. Still over VWAP. Pretty clear descending resistance. So we should see a pop or drop soon. Keep an eye on Grom. Might be setting up a bear trap. We'll see. trading view to alert? I don't know if they can. We should get the volume spike to match whatever this move is. A lot of support through here. See if this bounces through. Squeeze kind of looks like it's unraveling now. Yeah, we did not do marbles today.
If we can just get one more of those, that would be big. Kind of set up an M play on a bigger time frame.
News.
Busted 400.
Tech Justice Department holds presser. Is there a link? Is there a link for that? Justice Department presser.
That's where I take it off and I call myself lucky.
Garland's talking Google.
That looks good for a break. For 400 is a psych level.
I think COSM's got another move in it. We'll see though.
So a bear flag. Right here. So is a monster candle. $75 candle. Just need another one of those. I guess to $3.99.50.
I don't eat breakfast. I can't tell you the last time I had breakfast.
They could just get to 1 on the contract, so it's only a 60 cent or 30 cent move from there. And trim.
Raw egg. French toast, pancakes, or waffles. French toast is delicious. It might be tied with what? I mean, completely different ballparks. Pancakes is definitely last though. COSM breaking out a little bit. It's a good sign. Volume's increasing.
If Apple can get that next push down, it might bring the market down.
Should be Helix. EIAF trying to break out.
Yeah, it should come down.
That's interesting.
It's a nice bear flag. I'd like to say I took my last hit at Nick. Yeah, I can't be doing this. I gotta
Piece of junk.
Only if it gets insta sold back off, we're not going back down.
I think it goes, but I don't really want. Let's take a break. That's what I do. Take a little break.
Just need SPX to throw up. I'm not gonna throw up. Gonna throw up because I know right when I sell most of this position, it's gonna go down even more. Oh, because I don't hold overnight. That's part of the trading. It's just part of the process.
Gotta learn on Grom.
Let me get lucky, like a little bit lucky. Please. Please.
Maybe.
a little bit of luck. Need the power of God in anime on my side. Five Minute is also setting up a bear flag. Would be a huge M once on it if I could do it. But there's just this range from 400 to 450. Very tight consolidation. A little bit of luck.
BIF trying to go here. Look at that volume. What's up, Bobby? you seen the Atlas headrest for the Herman by a chair? It's on yeah, it's been on pre-order for like a freaking year. Big fan of that idea for sure. What a wild one, huh? SATX. Jeez. Shares that were dumped there. Bitcoin breaking. Look at this 4-hour chart on Bitcoin. Holy shit. We should be probably looking to play this. It's a 4-hour squeeze. This could be a massive move. Keep an eye on that. Grom hitting some levels here. bastard you went. Yeah, that's a big ass squeeze on Bitcoin. You don't really see that too often. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's probably a lot to do with Microsoft. COSM is building a 1 minute squeeze. No, I don't pay for it. It's free. Well, there it goes to the downside. with pre-market levels now. COSM coming back up. Need to break like 620. Jungle Rave? I've never heard of that. A thing. Yeah, Dumpy Dumpy. What you can do here, Grom? 55. Tesla puts for earnings. That's my guess. Is it today? Is there earnings today? I mean, how many times has Musk said this kind of environment's going to kill blah, blah, blah market? It's going to be tough for whatever. I mean, he was putting out the vibes there. I mean, not like I'm going to take the trade, but... yeah, their margins.
Filing a simple return for free with the help of a TurboTax expert?
Feels pretty good.
See if you qualify at TurboTax.com.
This thing's ridiculous right now. Spot's gonna dump. You're in from 2.9. Jeez. Oh, what are you gonna do here? What's up, Andy? Andy freaking has 400k in that Dookie Dash. You got a tier 3 pass, right? Time to step it up to tier 4. Get into that 500k level. Andy, let me ask you this about your mouse. Like, I had my settings pretty high. I tried the 7500. But like, if I move my mouse really fast with that high settings, the ape like barely moves. So I have to like feather it for the ape to move right. Do you find that? Do you have that issue? $400 DPI. No. Like, my cursor will make the move. Like, you put the cursor up on the screen, it'll make the move, freaking jumping all over the place. But the ape won't. So I have to like 1/4 inch move it for the ape to move side to side or up or down properly. I think it's because my mouse leaves the browser and goes to another monitor. I wonder if I turn those monitors off. That'll do it. $400 switchers, jeez. Oh, now it's gonna go. Now it's gonna go. 5-second rule. Engaged. A wired gaming mouse? I mean, let's go with it. But it's, I think it's because my monitor, my mouse leaves the monitor since I opened up my monitor setup. That's my only guess. I'll try that later. I'll turn off my other 3 monitors and see. Yo, Stock Jock, I'm super pumped about the possibility of you checking out Piece of Princess. It may pieces together. That will be so sick. Many subs coming during that stream. Oh my gosh. Streamer market closes? I'll show you right now. I got it up. All right, let me crank the, let's go 5700. All right. So when we first start out, I'll move my mouse really far, like up, I don't know, 6-8 inches, right? This movement right here, this is like a ½ inch of movement. If I move my cursor fast, you can't even see it. Like, it's cranked. This sucker's cranked right now. But if I move my mouse fast when the game's going on, he doesn't respond. See, watch, this will be fast. That's fast. This is slow. This is like moving it really slow. Like, this is 1/4 inch. This is fast. See what I'm saying? So that's my issue. That's good. No, what I'm saying is I'm saying that when I go like this, he barely moves. When I was going like this is when he was moving fast. Oh my gosh, deep cheese. I think now that I'm thinking about it, I think it has to do with multi-monitor setup. Because when I'm pushing it that far, it's leaving. More than likely, it's leaving the monitor. I just can't see that. It's not the mouse pad. You don't have that problem. Are your monitors side to side or up or down so it wouldn't leave the monitor? Oh my gosh, open up. Here, I'll do a little dookie. I'll do one. You can critique me, all right? I don't do well under pressure. My chat knows this. But let's do one. Let's do one for funsies here, boys. You can critique me. This guy has 400K. Oh, never mind. COSM's moving here. Gotta make some money first. I don't like it. All right, back to it. Here we go. I'll put it at 2,000. 2,500. No, 2,000. Yeah, this is tier 1. Extra points on that. That's the glitch. It wouldn't let me go. That doesn't count. Does my mouse have a raincoat? That one doesn't count. It's boosting too much. Piece of shit.
One thing I've learned during SJ's stream today is how much he loves to spend in the butthole.
Oh my gosh. Oh shit. There we go. My hand is all sweaty.
SMU nerd missing it playing this stupid game.
Oh. I can't. I couldn't dash there. I was clicking. Nothing happens. Why? Besides that horse shit, this is a decent run for me. I was clicking it though, and dash didn't happen. I don't know why. I didn't hit previous wall. Oh, so there's a timer after that if you mess up. Okay, that makes sense then.
Your mom is going to ground you with all the butt stuff games you are playing.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
SJ, look out.
Trolls. Check out Kala.
YouTube Music is a music app made by YouTube, and it's a smart searching detective. So you can easily type in a description or lyric to find any song you want.
Setting up on a daily, maybe.
Get YouTube Music Premium. Try 1 month free.
That's so cool. GNS trying to pop up here. So Andy, what do you think? I mean, any tips that I was doing wrong besides missing the boost on that one go? What the hell? 50-cent pop out of nowhere. Is this halting up? Wow. Did everything correct, just missed my shit. Okay. Yep, just missed the wall.
Shares all the running golf
For your 400K run, how long was it? Was that 6 minutes? Like that run right there was 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Like, I can't imagine going 6 minutes. Stamp. Shut your mouth. I walked into that one. Was too big to learn from my house, but yeah, put it on YouTube, man. I'd watch that. You probably get thousands of views because no one's put up a good run on YouTube yet. COSM going for higher day. That run right there was 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Like, I can't imagine going 6 minutes. That run right there. Son of a gun. COSM call out. Best is 158K. Yeah, Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I feel like practice with my tier 1. Go balls deep if I feel like I got a chance at the champ. Like top 500. I said I was going for high a day. No, I said I think I can go high a day, which I still believe. I still believe. Google still going down? GNS. Oh, I forgot about that. All right, GNS. Let's see, 3:15, 18 seconds. It'll open up. I have no idea. It's at the upper Bollinger Band on the 5 minute. It's at the upper Bollinger Band on the 1 minute. It's at resistance. I don't know. $18 seconds on it. $8 seconds. I'm not trading this out of the gates. If it sets up, okay, maybe, but there's nothing here for me right now. Maybe 450 break for a scalp. Okay, that's significant.
GNS, Gulf November Sandy Shears resuming trade. GNS.
So beautiful.
Ba-da-ba-doo. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Ba-boom-da-da-doo. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-da-boom. Yeah, that Verizon stuff was crazy.
Coming up after the close, earnings from MSFT, Microsoft, COF Capital One Financial, TXN, Texas Instruments, ISRG, Intuitive Surgical, FFIV, F5 Networks.
And we were all yellow. Listen, pizza. You said limp dick, so it didn't say. I'm with you. I need to get out of limp dick mode. I'm not in like double limp dick, but we're not like killing it. We haven't had a kill it day yet. It's like I get up and it's like 2 steps forward, 1.5 steps backwards. I had 3 red days all year, and they've kept me like down on January. So this shit's got to stop.
We're still watching. Get YouTube Premium. All YouTube, no interruptions.
Jeez. And I really want to get some juice on one of these suckers because it's gonna slow down eventually, and we're getting movers right now, which is something we haven't had like for 6 months, it felt like. And the January effect is in full blown out whatever. But I just haven't been able to ride the rocket. Is that right?
I heard if you take a gummy and play League, you get out of limp D * CK mode and better looking.
Ugh, jeez. How long has it been since we had an Aussie hype train? It's been a hot minute. I mean, that's kind of indicative of what the market, man. People don't have extra money to be throwing around. BTAI. Jeez. That's crazy. All right, chat. Who are we rating today? Pizza G or somebody new that we haven't found yet? I haven't been away for a while. Have you been doing? B-Man, what's cracking, man? Here, we'll do a 1-minute poll. Ariel. She used to come in this channel quite often during the GME craze. Polls up. looks like news have it. All right, let me find us somebody new. Find one of those Korean books. Do I ever trade earnings?
2121 stock J clap.
Like if I'm at my computer, I might look for a trade there, but it's so volatile and the algos are just all over it for different reasons, at different timing. Like it's so hard. Just follow Titan. He seems to trade him perfectly every single day. Oh, where's the GNS is still building here. You might go again. Maybe over 55 for a break of 60. Holding this 90 May nicely. A lot of stabs down and it couldn't break. Sellers stacking up. This was a 1 minute cuck. There's your 1 minute cock. 60. Oh, okay. And out. $50. Also got you a 5 minute. See if you can get this. Looks good. Back over 60. Might really kind of needed to go. Grom's it's ranging right now. It's got to reverse its little downtrend that it's in. It's trying to do. 2. Horse shit, Phil! How in the world did I get filled at 59? Oh, look at that. That pisses me off. Look at that. GNS trying. Watch COSM as well. That might set something up. Grom's trying again. Among Us VR. Jimmy's ripping. Huh. That's setting up for maybe a cup and handle tomorrow. And the mini one, probably on like an hourly chart or something. Right? Something. Maybe. Breakout levels, this like 2250 area. You accidentally. I bet you accidentally did.
YouTube Music is a music app filled with millions of songs you've never heard before. Like DJ sets, live concert and studio recordings, mixtapes, obscure covers, remixes of remixes. Get YouTube Music Premium.
Free your mind and the rest will follow. Be colorblind, don't be so shallow. GNS again. She could cook here. CVNA headline reaches deal with State of Illinois to continue bringing greater vehicle selection, more convenience to lower costs for residents. GNS, trying again. Big seller at 475. Maybe one more pullback and go. I don't know. I don't really like the look. Spies just everywhere, man. Everybody's waiting for freaking Microsoft. What are y'all's guesses on what happens in Microsoft? Up or down? BTB still going. Sucks we didn't get any late day runners on these morning guys.
You started a podcast in the morning, and you're going to finish it on your afternoon walk. Stay in the loop even when you're offline. Try our family plan.
Commentary on collaboration with Mr. Beast. Beast Burger. Coins dumping here? Alright. Calling it there. $500. I'll take it. Base hit. I'm gonna take a little break before earnings go out. Just grinding away here. Market's just getting ready for dumpy. See then, let's go. I don't know if I saw you. 21 months. Sharfy. Kuba. We'll look at it, see if Grom or COSM move after hours. Yeah, that's probably the only two. Guys are awesome. We're back at it tomorrow. Hopefully we freaking hit a little. Like I feel like we're not getting just base hits. We're like bunting our way to the base. No. We were struck by a pitch and we have to walk to first base. That's what I feel like. That's probably a better example. One of these days we'll get a juicer this year. On base by errors. Yeah. Holy crap. But I'll take it. Green's green, right? It'll come. It'll come. That's what she said. You guys are awesome. Be back at it tomorrow. DMs are always open. Take a little break. See Grom and COSM as I'm getting off.
TFT reward.
It wouldn't be the hardest thing in the world to do, but it's definitely not easy.
often look to get a read on what's happening in the economy.
Well, Sarah, 3M and GE, they operate in two very different parts of the industrial world, so that's why the messaging was very different today. GE touting the strength in aviation as China reopens. CEO Larry Culp telling me he's seeing a dramatic snapback in air traffic there and now expecting China to get back to 2019 levels. But it is struggling on the renewable side. However, the struggles at 3M, Sarah, much larger, arguably, with CEO Mike Roman referencing consumers are sharply cutting discretionary spend, and the real concern for investors is the legal issues tied to PFAS and thousands of lawsuits from U.S. veterans that claim 3M's earplugs caused hearing damage. So there's a lack of visibility, and that's what's really been a big drag on 3M, not just today, but if you look at a 2-year chart, you'll see 3M is down significantly compared to GE, which has really made restructuring a big priority and seen its share price up about 15% during the same time period.
Mike, look at that gap. That's pretty stark.
Yes, well, for sure. I mean, I think that the realization of 3M's issues is something that you basically have to, attribute that to right now. But both companies, really, in different ways, are showing you kind of the messiness and the untangling of multi-industry conglomerates at different phases. GE making progress, but nobody can tell you what the actual core earnings power of the company is. The guidance is tough to disentangle. So I think that the market is preferring to go over toward the either very pure play aerospace type things or pure capital goods, farm equipment, mining equipment, things that you actually are, it's more tangible, it's less financial engineering, and it's less unwinding.
Got it. Seema, thank you. Seema Modi. Let's hit Microsoft because it's out with earnings after the bell. This, of course, comes after the company announced a new multi-billion-dollar investment in OpenAI, which is the company behind the AI chatbot, ChatGPT. Let's break down what to expect with Sterling Auty of MoffettNathanson. He rates Microsoft as market perform, $268 price target. There's a lot happening here with Microsoft, Sterling, but beyond just, we'll talk ChatGPT, but just as far as the quarter and the performance is going, they announced these layoffs. They're obviously in belt-tightening mode. What do you expect as far as a slowdown potentially in cloud?
Yeah, cloud is what's, front and center for all investors right now. The company talked about a 5-point slowdown quarter over quarter. That's on a constant currency basis. That would put you right around 37% constant currency. When people see the press release and the reported number, consensus numbers, our numbers are right around 30%. That's kind of the bar that we're looking for. I think everyone knows that, growth is slowing. The question is whether it's slowing more or less than expectations. I think anything, slightly above that expectation level. So if we see a 36, 37 type of number on Azure, people are going to feel comfortable that the deceleration is kind of in line with expectation, and they can focus on the positive of ChatGPT and the OpenAI investment. The layoff side, it's a couple of percent of expenses that they're really letting go. And frankly, across software, there needs to be a little bit of going back and trimming the fat because hiring over the last couple of years was aggressive given the growth that we've seen. This actually could be healthy. You're going to see companies come out stronger and more profitable through this cycle.
So how do you expect Microsoft to do guidance, to set the bar for 2023, given this kind of environment?
Yeah, remember, they've got 2 more quarters in their fiscal year, so they're going to give 6 months worth of guidance. A lot of the calendar year software companies will give you full 23 guidance. I think it's going to be a lot of the qualitative things that we want to hear. So what's going to happen with Azure? Everyone's expecting a further slowdown, especially for the next 2 quarters. But what's going to be the qualitative commentary about the, are they going to expect improvement when we get into the back half of the calendar year? I think that's going to be what's critical to listen to on the call.
On ChatGPT, so my AI guru is Jim Breyer, who I spoke with last week in Davos, because he's been talking about AI for many, many, many years now, believes it's the future of healthcare and other industries, says that the valuation that Microsoft paid is frothy. How is Microsoft going to answer that and paint it into their long-term vision?
Yeah, it's always difficult when you're talking about these cutting-edge, groundbreaking new technologies. I mean, I remember the valuation of Netscape when it came public, felt like, it was setting a bar, or Google, et cetera. This is something that can really be a game changer for Microsoft. We believe that 75% of Microsoft's revenue could actually benefit from incorporating ChatGPT into it. And I think this can be a massive competitive weapon in the various areas, not just cloud. We're talking about Office. We're talking about Power BI. So we think that, while the initial sticker shock may get to some people, we think when you think about the next 10, 15, 20 years and the growth dynamics it can generate, it's probably going to be worth it.
Mike Santoli, Microsoft is up this year, but just barely. It's underperforming the broader NASDAQ. And I know this is one of those that you look at as a true bellwether for tech.
Sure, it's a bellwether mostly of sentiment and of people's just faith in the huge platform's ability to kind of churn out the numbers. Now, for calendar 2023, the estimates consensus-wise for Microsoft, they're down like 11%, but that's better than many of the peers. Things like, Alphabet looking like 20% from the middle of last year. This year's earnings estimates coming down. So it has shown more stability. I think there's a general faith that whether it's with the AI investment or other areas, that they're going to be covering the next frontier of what needs to be done. And so you're not going to necessarily be left behind. And by the way, a $10 billion investment at a $30 billion market cap. I mean, Microsoft bought LinkedIn like 7 years ago for $30 billion when nobody knew why. So $10 billion on a $1.8 trillion market cap for Microsoft doesn't seem like a big cost of a bet on the future.
All right, Mike Santoli's not worried about it. Sterling Auty, thank you very much for joining me. Appreciate it. Those Microsoft numbers coming right after the bell. 2 minutes to go here in the trading day. Mike, what do you see in the internals?
Yeah, very mixed, as you would expect from a flattish to down index story here, but definitely not a wash, as we've had very strong breadth coming into this year, but some give back today with somewhat more declining versus advancing volume. Look at micro cap stocks as a group compared to the largest 50 in the market. That's the XLG. And you see really a big gap opening up there with the smallest stocks outperforming by 7 percentage points over the past year, but almost all of it in the last few weeks. That's a typical January effect, a little bit of excitement in some of the smallest names. Volatility index not doing a lot, down another almost half a point, around 19. We sit here waiting for not just some more of the earnings, but also the PCE inflation number on Friday, the Fed on Wednesday, and we have the indexes kind of hovering right at the crux of whether it's going to break to a new uptrend or not.
All right, so here we are at a critical moment. Also on Microsoft, Street's expecting a big move. Options market implying a move of 6% or larger in Microsoft stock. As we head into the close, take a look at where we stand here in the Dow. Started the hour up about 150 points on the Dow. Lost a lot of that. We're up about 118 right now. Oh, we came back a little in the last few moments. Travelers, UNH, and Caterpillar driving the Dow higher. 3M, Merck, and Nike are the biggest weights. The S&P 500, it's little changed right now. Utilities, industrial, staples, they're all doing well. Energy, healthcare, consumer discretionary, not as much. The NASDAQ composite down 0.2%, maybe some jitters, as Mike said, ahead of the Microsoft numbers. Also that Alphabet lawsuit weighing on those shares. Amazon down as well. That's it for me on Closing Bell. Into overtime with Scott.
All right, Sarah, thank you very much, and welcome everybody to Overtime. I'm Scott Wapner. You just heard the bells. We are just getting started from Post 9 here at the New York Stock Exchange. And man, do we have a big hour ahead. A little bit later, we've got a new market call from FundStrat's top technician, Mark Newton. You got to see where he now says stocks can go from here. We begin, though, with our talk of the tape. Two imminent and important earnings reports about to hit. Texas Instruments any second now, and of course the biggie Microsoft just shortly after that, both providing critical reads on the state of the tech and the broader economy. Our reporters standing by on both. We'll have the numbers, the stock moves as soon as they happen. We also have Joe Terranova here on set with me because he owns both of those stocks. It's good to see you here. This is the moment here, and you do own both. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think this is a stress test. This is a stress test for the rally so far in January. And I think for Texas Instruments, it's really going to validate if the move in the semi industry is warranted. SMH is up 16%
year to
so
date.
far year to date.
There's a lot of money been flowing over there to start the year.
Quite candidly, I'm focused on Texas Instruments. I own it because I wanted the lower beta exposure. I believe in the recovery that we're seeing in the semi industry, but I don't think that what's blossoming in the semi industry is going to really look a lot like the last couple of years. So I wanted to have a little bit of conservative exposure, but I think Texas Instrument validating the move in the semis is going to be critical here.
So I'm just going to let you know, both are out, by the way. Microsoft and Texas Instruments are out, and Microsoft even a few minutes before we expected it to be. And our reporters are going through that, and we're going to have them jump on and give you everything you need to know there. But talk to me about Microsoft, what your expectations were going in. From what I see now, Azure and other cloud services revenue was up 31%. The number that I have was the street was looking for 36.8. We already knew that Azure revenue growth was slowing, but if that in fact is the real number, what does that make you think about this stock from here forth? As you own it, and you made it one of your Stock Summit picks for us on halftime.
Okay, you have to listen. I acknowledge that the Azure growth is what has been driving the stock in the last several years, but let's see the totality of this earnings report. Let's understand, I don't have that in front of me. Let's understand that we've set a very low expectation for Microsoft this afternoon, Scott. I think that has to be understood. You have a fundamentally very strong company that we've marked down dramatically the expectations on what this company is going to deliver today in this earnings report. So let's keep that in mind.
But don't you have to, I guess you decide sort of what multiple you're willing to pay now for Microsoft if a key part of their business and the reason you were willing to pay a higher multiple over the last few years is actually slowing to the degree that it may appear to be.
Overall, 3-year annualized revenue growth on the company, 16%, 10% revenue growth in the last quarter. Again, acknowledging revenue growth is slow.
Well, I mean, overall revenue growth was expected, and we're waiting on that as well. Overall revenue growth was
3%.
expected at a little less than 3%, which would be the slowest since the second quarter of 2016. Steve Kovac, our reporter on the case, he's ready to join us now. Tell us exactly what he sees. Steve?
Yeah, here we go, Scott. So we got EPS as a beat here, $2.32 adjusted versus the $2.29 expected. Revenue, a very slight miss, $52.75 billion versus the $52.94 the street was looking for. And Azure cloud growth, as you know, this is what we always look for. Investors are always curious about. 31% growth versus the 30.8% per estimates. That's just barely a beat there on Azure growth, but that growth is slowing quite a bit, Scott.
So you hit the key number there. It was 30.8 was the estimate, and that's probably why the stock was rising. But that, Joe, is the biggest number that we were looking out for, right? Because it is all about the growth in the cloud. We know that the PC business across the industry is bad.
Yeah.
So you knew that part of Microsoft's business was going to be slowing. It really comes down to a question of Azure. So it's 31 versus 30.8.
Cloud revenue for Q2 comes in a little bit better, 27.1 versus 26.75 is the estimate. Is there resiliency in these earnings? Obviously, based on the stock being higher, there is resiliency. Does it validate overall the move that we're seeing in technology? I think you have to have other companies bring forth their earnings here in the coming days. But specific to Microsoft, understand, here's the conflict you have. You have poor momentum. You have a technical picture in which the stock down 29% through the course of 2022, really underperforming the NASDAQ so far year to date. You've got the clash of what's negative momentum with resiliency and fundamentals, and the determination that you would have to make, and myself, is which one will win out over the coming quarters.
Is this about expectations being set extraordinarily low?
Without question.
Coming into the number, so it doesn't take much. As Kovac was saying, it's not like you skyrocketed over the bar.
No.
In terms of the Azure number that the street was at. I mean, you barely got over that hurdle.
Look, I think it goes back to 2023, 3,200 S&P calls, 4,800 S&P calls, balance emotionally somewhere in the middle, and understand, don't get too high, don't get too low, look to generate alpha opportunities and get paid to wait.
No, you know what
this is an example of that.
You know what the biggest problem may be? No matter what you say, and look, we have to wait for the call, okay? And the call's at 5:30. So we have a little bit of time to wait on that. But Nadella, the CEO himself, told you. What? He told you don't buy our stock. We got another 2 years of pain ahead of us for the sector.
He did not say don't buy our stock.
He didn't say don't buy my stock, but for all intents and purposes, he said don't buy my stock. It's going to be another 2 years of pain.
He did what a CEO should do in this environment. He guided to a very challenged environment. He's still investing in the business with the OpenAI investment. So he's making the investment there. He's doing what a CEO should be doing in this environment. And you've got the stock right now sitting at 253. investors can make a decision.
You know what?
If you
You
think
know what I
the
meant.
premium valuation isn't warranted, sell out of it right here. Take advantage of the rally after the close.
Well, what is the appropriate multiple? The street's going to have to decide. And let's not forget that Microsoft year to date, as the rest of tech has been rallying, it hasn't.
It has not.
It's done nothing.
But there, in fact, lies the challenge where you've got negative momentum, you've got poor technical conditions for the stock. It's a conflict between fundamentals and technicals.
What about Texas Instruments? We turn our attention back to that. I mean, it is important. You got the personal computing side that it sells into, the industrial economy. That's why it's important. Now, maybe it doesn't carry as much bellwether weight as it once did, but it's still important to somebody like you who owns the stock.
No, I disagree. I actually think that Texas Instruments is an important bellwether because of the move that we're seeing in the semis. And the semis are the 2020 transports. That's what they are. They're so relevant to not only the domestic but the global economy. Also, let's understand something. Texas Instruments has 90% international revenue exposure. What has the value of the U.S. dollar done since late September?
Gone down.
Oh, and it's gone down by about 12%. That's going to have a positive impact on a lot of multinational companies. I think that's, in fact, what investors should be thinking about, having that type of exposure.
Yeah. There's Texan right there. They report $213 a share. The estimate that we have was $198. You got a revenue beat as well, but it's going to come down to what the guidance was. There was some expectation on the street that they would guide below consensus. So we'll try and figure out exactly what the story is there. The stock is not doing all that much, but as you've said, and some are suggesting that right now semis are a lead for the broader market, that what was, double or triple ordering isn't so much of an issue at this point. You went from a shortage to a glut of chips. How do we factor that into how we think about this space right now, given the money that's gone in there, by the way, to start the year?
So I think the worst case scenario for the semis has been priced in 2022. I think, I don't view the economic outlook in the binary sense. I've said all along, hard landing happened in risk assets already. You've priced in so much negative news into stocks already. Tell me what else is going to be needed to be priced in to return stocks to the lows in 2022.
Recession. I
don't think, but a recession, an economic recession, has already been priced into stocks.
No, it hasn't, according to J.P. Morgan's Marco Kolanovic.
Okay, so I respectfully disagree. I believe that
That's
a recession.
What he put out yesterday
I believe
this very hour.
I believe an economic recession has already been priced into stocks. A significant earnings recession, that has not been priced into stocks. Are we seeing an indication of an earnings recession in these numbers after the close? Doesn't look like it to me. I'm not wildly bullish. I don't believe in the 4,800 calls. I just think that you have to be balanced to understand that you're marking time. The market can move on either side of 4,000, and you could find opportunities to generate alpha.
How is a recession priced into the market if we're 15% off of the 52-week low for stocks? We're only down 13 1/3%.
Scott, the stock market is not the economy. I'll say it over and over again. What did D.R. Horton do today? It made an all-time high. What is the housing market doing? The housing market is contracting. Go try and sell your home. You can't do that. You can't sell a home right now. The transacted.
Didn't those stocks already take a hit? Maybe that area is troughing.
No, those stocks have been remarkably resilient. The home builders throughout the second half of 2022 into 2023.
Okay, we'll continue the conversation. Let's bring in CNBC contributors now. Shannon Saccocia, SVB Private, and Victoria Green of G Squared Private Wealth. Shannon, you got Microsoft. What's your read here?
Yeah, I think you're really not all that impressed with 30.8% Azure growth. I mean, if you look at, Scott, what we're thinking about in terms of, the growth driver for Microsoft is absolutely here. But point me to other areas within technology that are continuing to show this type of growth. I agree with a lot of what Joe said. I think that one of the things we need to think about Microsoft is that all of these opportunities to be able to add to this stock over the next year for longer term growth are going to be incredibly beneficial for investors. I go back to the point where do I want to have exposure to when we see a lower growth environment later this year? Companies that can derive both top line and bottom line growth on their own. And Microsoft is showing that with the investments they've made in the cloud, they are going to continue to be a huge player in that. We could go from 6% to 3% in enterprise spend this year, Scott. This is still going to be a beneficiary even of that lower spend.
I mean, I'm not suggesting or you know, saying the opposite of whether the Azure revenue growth is impressive or not. To me, that's irrelevant. It's the mere fact that, Shan, it's undeniable at least that revenue growth in that critical area of the company is slowing from the growth rate that it had in the past, when it had a much more premium multiple to it. So the multiple has re-rated. We're trying to decide as an investing community whether the multiple is re-rated enough for the future growth rate of that critical part of the business. You, as an investor and holder of the stock, are the one who has to decide that.
Well, at 24 times, Scott, we've seen the multiple compress significantly. I mean, we're a little bit still above premium in terms of that multiple over the stock market that we've seen over the last 5 to 10 years. But again, I still think that there's an opportunity to pay a premium for growth. The other thing to think about is you're talking about growth on a much broader base. 51% of revenues is what Microsoft is generating from cloud. So obviously that's going to slow, but that doesn't mean that it's not beneficial and meaningful to the bottom line. So you're right. Whether it's 22 times or 24 times, the market's going to decide that. I feel like 24 times is appropriate.
Or 27 where it is now, right?
Correct. I mean, again, this is, you know, on either side of that, whether it's, you know, the multiple that you want to pay today or the multiple that you want to pay in the future. What I think is an important point, though, Scott, is that a lot of people are talking about that their technology companies do not deserve a premium multiple over the rest of the market, and I disagree with that emphatically because of their ability to generate their own growth.
I don't think they're, you know, necessarily suggesting they don't deserve a premium multiple. It's the degree to which the premium is put into the valuation. Victoria, so you've had these two important earnings reports come out. What's your take?
So I think for Microsoft, it's going to be about the magnitude of deceleration in Azure and how they guide. I mean, their CEO came out last week saying we're going to have to learn to do more with less, and that even the customers that they're helping integrate on Azure, they're having to tell them they're not having as many opportunities to cross-sell, to have more penetration in there. So I think Microsoft is warning us going forward, we may see further deceleration from the 30s to the 20s, and again, in a 27-point handle, I think you have to take that into consideration. Yes, you're getting a lift from the dollar, but that's more than counteracted by the slowdown, especially in PCs. I think we had, it's estimated we had the slowest growth in PCs in like since it's been measured. So I think you have to take that into consideration. Texas Instruments is interesting for me because they held up so well last year. A lot of that's because they're only about 25% in the PC business and about 62% in industrial and automotive. The question for Texas Instruments, they held up well because most semis were at least 50% exposed to consumers. They were about only 25%. Now they're overexposed to industrials. If we see this industrial slowdown, is that going to cause a slowdown more than anticipated in Texas Instrument, as well as they're going through a change of leadership? Now, he's an insider. He's been there 24 years, but anytime you have a new CEO, you have to wonder what that's going to do to the company direction. I think, as Joe pointed out, both of these stocks are leading indicators for their specific market areas, but this January rally has been all